Hello everyone, in this short video I'm going to demonstrate how to remove epoxy and paint overspray from the TumblerShields. Okay, I have a couple shields here that have built up or dried up epoxy on them. This one here has dried up paint residue on the rim here. I'm going to show you how to remove that. Okay, so this one here has the epoxy on it. Basically what I do is, since it is a flexible material, you basically just squeeze it, right? That epoxy doesn't bend well when it dries. So you bend the tumbler shield itself and you just peel off the pieces of dried up epoxy and it'll crumble right off, as you can see here. All right, and you have your dried up epoxy. All right, it's just a matter of bending and manipulating the tumbler shield, which will go back to its original form after you've squeezed it or you know, bent it. And the epoxy comes right off. If you've painted your cups using the tumbler shield and then you use epoxy right afterwards and you have a little bit of epoxy on it, the paint actually adheres to the epoxy, and then once you squeeze the tumbler shield, the paint will come off with the actual epoxy when you squeeze it. All right, and then it comes out looking like almost like new. Definitely reusable. Took me a couple designs to figure out what was the best material to use for the tumbler shields. I wanted to provide a shield that could provide more than a one-time use, obviously, right? This one here, I used two different types of TPU filament, which provided that nice lime green and strawberry pink color. Now it is quite don't want to say difficult, but you know, tedious and time consuming to get every little piece of material off, but I assure you it won't affect your next application when you put it on your fresh cup. Just make sure you take it. I have an old toothbrush. I'm sure everybody has an old toothbrush, right? Use it and brush off the rim of your tumbler shield to get any loose dried up epoxy or dried up paint residue. Give it a good brush, and maybe even use alcohol if you have alcohol readily available. Go ahead and brush that off, and it is just like new. Okay, I usually do this about after 2 or 3 applications. I wait until there's a good enough buildup, because if there's only a thin layer, it'll definitely, you know, using a brush, even a toothbrush or a small wire brush will get that, start getting the paint residue to come off. This one I've only used it with spray paint and just a light brush. After squeezing it to get the spray paint to crack, it will then start coming off. Okay. Let me see what else do I have here. So this one here has a solid coat of white paint around the rim. I'm going to give it a good squeeze. You see it comes right back to its same original form. Give it a good squeeze. Kind of play with it. I mean, you don't have to worry about breaking it. I usually just flick them and stuff. And look, the paint came right off, just like new. Okay, the back, you'll have a solid layer of paint on the back. But like I said, if you wait till you build up a few layers to where it's thick enough to where when you squeeze it, the back layer will crack and then the whole thing will peel right off. Otherwise, I wouldn't really too much worry about the color of it. Okay, it's the, what is this? This is my first edition of the 30 ounce I didn't quite like this one and how it turned out, so I just use this as a scrap.